This isn't Call of Duty. Why are the guns moving around so much? Why is there leaning like COD Ghosts? Is this Rainbow Six Siege? Why is everyone leaning? Why do guns actually have kickback?
Hello fellow interwebbers, welcome back to Induction Games. I'm your host, the videographer, and today we're talking about, surprise, surprise, Call of Duty. There's been a lot of videos on YouTube lately related to Call of Duty. I follow a few Call of Duty YouTubers, and I'm not going to be repeating a lot of what they're saying, but I'll be recapping it. You see, Call of Duty has a very interesting community. The Call of Duty community loves Call of Duty. Obviously, fans of a game series are fans because they like it. But, you know, fans will request changes in a game. It's like, hey, this last game was great, but can we lose that ability to have infinite grenade launcher stuff to make me want to kill myself?
I am going to commit suicide.
The problem with Call of Duty is every year we get a Call of Duty with guns that you unlock by playing the game and ranking up, and you get attachments for those guns, and you get headshots with those guns, or complete challenges with those guns, and get camouflages, and so on and so forth, and you get to the max rank, then you reset. The game's meta has, for the most part, been the same for years, and the game's feel has also been, for the most part, the same. The Call of Duty community is always saying, hey, we want innovation, we want changes, we don't want the same Call of Duty every year. But then they come around and say, oh, so you didn't like the ability to run around like a normal human being with, you know, guns and boots on the ground combat? Well, let's add jetpacks and lasers. You want change, right? And then they give us that change, and the community complains about it. It's not the Call of Duty I remember. I want the old Call of Duty back. And so they do it. Hey, this is a new gritty boots on the ground with still some of the future aspects, and then everyone hates it because Call of Duty fans. I've liked Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. And I've played a lot of Call of Duties, but after they felt like the same thing over and over, I stopped playing them. After Modern Warfare 3, I was kind of done, and it's like, okay, this has basically been one 5-year expansion pack. It doesn't really feel like that much is changing. I didn't play Ghosts. I don't think I played much of Advanced Warfare. No, I played a little bit of Advanced Warfare. I played none of Black Ops 3. I played almost none of Infinite Warfare. I think I played like a demo, and I didn't come back until COD World War II, when it's like, it's going back to its roots to World War II. Man, I really liked World at War. And honestly, even though that game had a lot of issues, I liked it a lot. It was the first Call of Duty that I got my wife into, Shay, and I played it a lot. And I felt like I was getting back into Call of Duty again, and they announced Black Ops 4. And it came out, and I grinded through like the first 5 prestiges in that game in the first few months, but then Activision pulled their sneaky Activision crap and introduced pay-to-win microtransactions, and haven't played since. But Modern Warfare 2019. Not Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. Not Modern Warfare Remastered. Not Advanced Warfare. Not Infinite Warfare. Not Advanced Warfighter, different series. It's a spiritual reboot by Infinity Ward, the guys who made the original COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, and I'm sorry, guys. I know that no matter how bad a game is and how poorly it's received, you worked your asses off to make that game, and I'm sorry you got so much flack for it. The little bit I played of Infinite Warfare, I liked. I thought it was a really cool blend of sci-fi with the Call of Duty fast-paced combat, and it was pretty cool. Anyways, Modern Warfare 2019. It was announced and everyone is freaking out because it's this new engine. It looks so much better than previous CODs. Like, it seems more gritty and boots on the ground and down, and yeah, that's happened before. A new Call of Duty is announced and everyone's excited. They drink the Call of Duty Kool-Aid, and then the game comes out and it's well received for a few months, and then microtransactions are added and everyone hates it again. This year is different because after seeing the new 2v2 gunfight mode, we finally got our first look at the actual gameplay. This more grounded, realistic, and gritty feel that they're talking about. And everyone is doing the classic COD fan of,
This isn't Call of Duty. Why are the guns moving around so much? Why is there leaning like COD ghosts? Is this Rainbow Six Siege? Why is everyone leaning? Why do guns actually have kickback? That's not, it looks like Battlefield.
and it's hilarious because they were complaining that Black Ops 4 didn't do anything unique enough. The thing is, Call of Duty 2019 is the most innovative Call of Duty with the most amount of changes, leaping the series forward since Modern Warfare 2. And here's why. So first we gotta rewind a little bit, back to 2008, when 2007, that's what I thought. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out in 2007, and it introduced one of the most realistic console games that anyone has ever seen as far as photorealism and addicting multiplayer meta where you unlock new guns and can grind camos and attachments for those guns and play with your friends, and you can get really sweaty and get 7 whole kills in a row to get a helicopter. Oh, so innovative. And then in 2008, just a year later, Treyarch followed it up with Call of Duty World at War. We go back to World War II, baby. We were fighting Nazis and we were fighting Japaneses. It was so gritty and we didn't have the technology, but we had these classic guns like the Mosin Nagant and the Thompson and the M1 Garand that would go bang, 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 poogling. Just like that. And it kept that progression system and the prestige system, and now you could get dogs to come and kill people instead of a helicopter. It was cool. But then in 2009, Infinity Ward came back, guns blazing, no pun intended, with a game that had, from what I remember at the time, going from World at War's art style to the more updated style of Modern Warfare 2, to these huge maps with all kinds of different settings and so many more guns with like 10 times more kill streaks and so many more things to do and unlock. And now you have the 360 no scoping trick shotting 1v1 me bro on Rust. It was an explosion. The Call of Duty genre just exploded at that time, and I think a lot of people who played the older Call of Duty, I'm not talking to you Gen Z, sorry, just kidding. Anyone who played Call of Duty back in COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, but I feel like that was the biggest jump from a good idea to a great idea. And I feel like the graphics jump and the fidelity and the insaneness of the campaign and the new Spec Ops mode, there was just so much added and it was great. And then Black Ops came around and it was kind of down to that, and it was more down to earth gritty now in the Vietnam Cold War, and that was really cool. And you know, and it kept doing that. You know, each game is like, oh hey, we're back to Modern Warfare with some new things. It's like, hey, now it's kind of futuristic warfare, and you know, it changed things a little bit, but for the most part, it was the same thing. Now there's slightly more kill streaks with different names that do similar things. Now you can modify your kill streaks. Now you can unlock things on guns in a different way by using the gun more. It was still Call of Duty, and it was still the game meta that has been the same since the beginning. And now, all of a sudden they're introducing these guns and this movement that looks like Battlefield. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna have to demonstrate it with this airsoft gun. The thing about first-person shooters is you've always felt like a super soldier. You know, using this weapon of destruction is no harder than using your controller. You know, you just move, and then all of a sudden you're moving this, you know, several ounce to several pound mechanism of injury across the screen, and you never really think about it. It just works, and it's always felt really satisfying when you shoot that gun and it goes. Okay, so in most Call of Duty games, you have your gun, and you're holding a hip, and you're just kind of standing there. The gun's just kind of doing this, and then you can aim down sights. Shoo. It's really hard to do. It brings the gun up to your eye, like, you know, kind of like in real life. So you hold the gun down like this when you're walking around, but then when you're actually aiming down sights, it comes up to the camera. But from the video game's perspective, it's more like. And to make it accessible and easy for players, the recoil is usually detrimental. It's usually like your character is the frickin' lethal weapon of every gun. You know, you have perfect accuracy and very little recoil. It's pretty much like. Bang, 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 bang. Going up so you can push the control stick down a little bit and keep your accuracy pretty much the same. And the recoil is more of a, oh, it's guns have recoil, right? I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but in more tactical shooters like Rainbow Six Siege, Insurgency Sandstorm, Arma, Squad, probably the most accessible of the tactical shooters is Battlefield. It's not quite as tactical as far as like the ability to like lean around corners and look around while your gun is still pointed like some of these other games. The guns feel heavier. Here's your first person view. Call of Duty's like, hey, you have this gun, it's cool. You can customize it and add attachments and stuff, and then you can aim down the sights and shoot at people. That's pretty much it. Now, in Battlefield games, it's more like, and now you're walking, now you're running, and then you're shooting. You know, Rainbow Six Siege and some of the other popular tactical shooters, you know, guns seem to fly around the screen a little bit more. The realism is just a little bit more there, and some people don't like that. Some people like the simple arcadey feeling, like they don't want to have to spend an hour with every gun to learn how it shoots, but that's how real guns work. If you are a Call of Duty fan or a first-person shooter fan, I would encourage you to go to a gun range and rent a gun. Try shooting just a pistol and see really how ballistics and how recoil works. Obviously, gun violence is terrible. Obviously, war and death is terrible. But these games are designed for entertainment. And if they're designing a game to be entertaining and try to have more realism in how guns function and feel, a lot of people, a lot of us gun nuts, will really appreciate that. And if you think that it's annoying how much recoil it is and how much the gun's moving around and stuff, well, you're wrong. Everyone's complaining about it, and they've only seen like literally 2 streamers play it. There's a lot of gameplay to come, and there's most likely going to be a beta for people to get their hands on it and see that when you have a game where the recoil is really gnarly and the guns just feel heavy and weighty and powerful and lethal, it makes it a lot better. When you have the earlier Call of Duty games, when you have a 12 gauge shotgun and you just take it out and it's like, but in the gameplay we saw, when they took out that shotgun and racked it, oh, it feels like you're actually pulling this metal and composite and springs back and loading a frickin' 1-inch death cylinder into another metal cylinder that shoots little tiny freedom seeds into your opponents. And that's cool. The sights, when you look through them, there's some distortion from the glass, and that just, I think, looks really cool and really immersive. And some people find it distracting. Well, you know, try to keep your target lined up when shooting a scoped weapon in real life. They're going for a more realistic feel by animating these guns more carefully, and the way you're moving, you know, if you're walking or if you just got done sprinting or you're jumping. Sorry, COD fans who like to jump around corners and kill people, but that's not how it works in real life. They're still going for a very twitchy shooter with this game, and I think it's going to be, and I think it's still going to have that, but you're going to have to be more careful with how you use these weapons, because your accuracy is going to be a lot lower when jumping around a corner compared to like bracing up against a wall like we saw in the gameplay and gaining a lot of accuracy back. And that is really where the huge leap comes. The guns have always been just an aesthetic to the game, to get you to play more, to get you to grind the game. All the guns really kind of sounded and felt the same for the most part, and it was really how they looked and how accurate they were, you know, how fast they fired. Usually you just find the most broken gun in the game, but with how realistic they're making the ballistics in this game and how insanely deep I feel like they're going to make the customization, their whole thing about a gun bench where you can set a gun down like it's on a Gun Enthusiast magazine and just change out the barrel, change out the color of the sights. I feel like it's going to make customizing a lot more immersive, and I think it's going to be kind of seeing it from a bird's eye view and what they're trying to do. I think I can visualize it because if you haven't noticed, more hardcore tactical shooters are starting to gain a lot of popularity in recent years. You know, PUBG, one of the grandfathers of battle royale games, has known for having, you know, more realistic gunplay. And then Rainbow Six Siege, that game gained like thousands and thousands of new players in June and July, including myself. I never got into the game until recently. And that game is 4 years old. When a lot of thought and effort is put into how games feel and play, you know, they can last a long time. Where Call of Duty, it's always kind of like a rush to just get another game out. And I feel like Infinity Ward is really working hard to make this game memorable and to make this game feel like a step in not just a right direction, but in a new direction. Even though I wouldn't necessarily condone pre-ordering it, because Activision is going to be Activision. We don't know if it's going to be loot boxed to hell like all the other games. I would wait to see gameplay, wait to see reviews. The hardest thing to do as a COD fan is wait for the game to come out. Activision needs to know that if they want us to trust them with buying a new Call of Duty, well, you guys better not screw it up. Infinity Ward is working really hard with this game. Treyarch worked hard. You guys need to let them actually have some creative freedom, and the players will come. The money will come. If you keep screwing us over with microtransactions, then plenty of other indie studios are going to kill you. Sorry, but Unreal Engine, Unity, all these open source game development platforms are becoming so readily available that indie studios are going to kill huge corporations like Activision unless they start being pro-consumer. And that's the truth. Modern Warfare 2019. I'm excited, cautiously optimistic. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Don't complain about it. Just don't buy it. Bet with your wallet, not your Twitter feed. Anyways, if you like this video at all, give it a like. If you want to see more gaming videos and rants and stuff relating to games, subscribe to Induction Games, and I will catch you in the next video. This is a videographer. Really hot in this room.